Rahim, a continuation to make sure that the information is very clear. We will not be bribed or take any monetary compliments aiming to dissuade us or to silence us in any way. Both board members, Yunus Vora and Dr. Nazir Chaudhry, mentioned along the lines of, if you need anything, any money, let us know. Muhammad Mustafa, also we have him on the record, text saying practically the same thing, coming from these three leaders. And as I mentioned to the adulterer, the discriminatory practices are not going to go without being called out on, and we are not for sale. So we want to make sure that everybody understands that. If there is anyone who has any type of sense of truth and are involved in this matter for their own good, for their own safety, in finding the truth, let them contact us directly so that we can clarify with them any misconceptions that they may have. Now, one who does decide to go another route must realize that you are following one route which is full of deception and absolute hypocrisy. Therefore, once getting that information, realize that it could be detrimental to you, the barrier, who is silently harboring it, or silently aiding the forces of Iblises, whom have clearly defied the authority of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, as well as that of the tradition of the community, which was again to have the meeting, the community meeting, which has been going on for the past 4 or 5 years. They went over that. They decided to utilize the Iblisi ideas, particularly from Rizal Chaudhry, who is a very, very bullying figure at that location. Many know of him. I particularly asked him on 3 different occasions, I am not a child, and since you would not like to have yourself spoken to like that, do not speak to me like that. I asked him that personally. He persisted until finally I greeted him again with Assalamu alaikum. As long as you don't have any salam to say to me, don't say anything to me at all. We also had the likes of him. We also have that of Muhammad Mustafa, who again persists on paying his way into these leadership roles, such as the board of Al-Madinah. He is also sitting there and being harbored by his former accomplice at the ICR location, Islamic Center of Richmond. Also in the location of Al-Fitan, Islamic Center of Henrico. He's also bragging about taking care of some type of cemetery rights. And these are all, again, brags that we have him on record, in writing, him saying. Now, if one decides to further with this type of Islam, realize that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is not sanctioning anything other, is not going to substantiate anything other than the truth. We all know, everybody, Muslims and non-Muslims alike, know that you're not living the authentic Islam. You yourself know that you are not living by that in which is authentic. You're not abiding by the rules and the laws. You're not staying within the limitations and the boundaries that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has prescribed. You cannot do that. You cannot violate such and then say that you are a submissiveness, or you are doing so in submissiveness to Allah. You may be doing in submissiveness to this world or what this world has, but nothing of it, again, is for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Now, I will not impose myself or my thoughts on the people. This is not my objective. My objective clearly is to cite that in which is wrong and say that this is wrong, to remind, and therefore doing so, going on about the next. This is our responsibility as Muslims. It is never our responsibility to keep quiet. Never. If one is doing good, we keep encouraging them to do good. If one is not doing good, then we are to remind them that they're not doing good. And clearly in this case, I have a moral obligation, being a Quranic practitioner, to stand firm and to express the truth in which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has made divinely clear in the noble Quran, in which He has embodied in the examples of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. I'm sorry, my fellow Muslim, American, indigenous, and of everywhere, this is completely unacceptable. One thing I will cite from the electoral speeches of His Excellency Mr. Joe Biden. He did mention if he finds anybody looking down on anybody else, he will fire them on the spot. This is what he said, and I'm holding firm that in which he said, and I'm simply reminding whomever is listening, particularly those who are Muslim, it is absolutely legal to stand for the truth. This is how we stood. And right now, when you have discrimination going on, which is clearly against the Quran, clearly against the law of the land, my fellow Muslims, if we do not stand firm for what is right in this case and subdue that in which is wrong, then when can we say to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and how can we say to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that we actually abided by the pure Islam? I'm afraid that it does not constitute the pure Islam. The pure Islam is here to liberate and to free and to empower and to embody that in which is most pleasing to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And He is definitely not one who wishy-washes on His word or on His promises. This is the order. The Imam is one who is most knowledgeable of the Quran. If you have two who are most knowledgeable, then the one who is oldest. If they are both of the same age, we look at the one who has the more eloquence, and so forth and so on. You cannot just come, pay yourself into a board, okay, of a masjid, and decide how you're going to, collide and utilize your system of authority, which is paying and bribing your way into these positions, and that giving you the right in which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has clearly defined for someone else. We will speak out against that, even if it costs us of our own lives. We are ready, because this is the truth. If anybody wants to refute this again, come with the Quran. Come with the Quran. Come with the Quran. May long live the Quranic revolution of 2021 Ramadan. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bestow His favors upon all of those whom He has chosen on this very day, just like He gave it to Ulul Azm, Ibrahim wa Musa wa Isa wa Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, and all of that He's mentioned in the Quran and what He's mentioned anywhere other than the Quran as well, until we meet Him. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu.